I'm Jordon.
And we are luxury destination wedding photographers that capture images that impact marriages. And we are here today because we are going to be sharing a really special episode with you guys, particularly our couples out there. We went ahead and polled Instagram, Facebook, all those social media sites, and we asked, what were some confessions of past couples?
Both good and bad.
Yes. So what we mean by that is, as a couple who was previously married, what were some tips or tricks or maybe regrets that you may or may have not had regarding your wedding day that you wish you could go back and tell your past self?
Because we definitely have some of each. We have some good and some bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I think every couple does.
For sure. And so we wanted to go ahead and hop on here today and share some of the basically most mentioned or really great ones that were brought up, so that way we can hopefully share them with you so you can maybe avoid or at least take into consideration what other couples said.
Absolutely. If you're like me and you don't know anything about weddings, anything helps.
For sure. So as we go ahead and read these, one of the things that I want to go ahead and say is always take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Your wedding day should always be about you and what works best for you. But what we'll do is we'll go ahead and read through some of the tips and maybe offer some of our personal advice on those. And so we're going to go ahead and dive right in.
So obviously these are from the point of view of the couples too. So just a heads up too, obviously.
Yeah. So the first one that we have here is that location backdrop doesn't matter when the sun won't allow for a good photo with it during the time of ceremony.
Starting off the bang with the photography one, all right.
Well, this is a really good one because when couples envision their wedding day, sometimes they may be visiting a site or a venue at a different time than when your ceremony is going to occur. And this one is a really, really big one. I mean, we started off with probably one of my favorite ones on the entire list, because one of my number one tips is actually to go and visit your venue at the time of your ceremony so you can choose the location that's going to provide the most optimal light.
Now I know it's going to be kind of difficult too, because sometimes when you do venue tours, if you're still trying to decide, obviously you're not going to be able to see everything at your correct ceremony time.
Well, what I would recommend is as you start to finalize those maybe venues, go back before you make that final decision. And also, don't book your venue until you secure your favorite vendor. It's going to throw that random one in there because that's my favorite tip ever. But one of the things that we actually offer for our couples is that we actually do venue walkthroughs with them. So if they're going to their venue with their planner, we'll go ahead and go in with them so that way if they have questions from a photography perspective, like, hey, question, Shauna and Jordon, where would be a good place, do you think, for our ceremony based on the sunlight? Because that's something that we can totally do, because there's definitely things to take in consideration, like, is the sun going to be in your guest's eyes? Is the sun going to be in your eyes? Is the sun going to not provide the most optimal lighting based on what you're envisioning for your ceremony?
One of the things I think of right now is like beach weddings. That's like a major one, because everybody loves the beach, they love the water, but photography aspect, you can't really get both. Like, we can't get you and the water in the same picture.
For the most part. Depends on who your photographer is and what kind of style they have and all those things definitely to take into consideration. So, but yeah, definitely take that into consideration. What something looks like during golden hour isn't what it's going to look like midday. So that's definitely one thing to take into consideration and talk to your photographer.
We can talk about this all day. That's just number one. All right, let's keep going.
So the second one that we have on here is that your wedding day is about you and your groom. Do not let a planner, parent, in-law, bridal party member, or anyone affect your decision or guilt you into doing what they want.
This is a tough one to do, because if you're like us, you are people pleasers and you want to please everybody that is around you. So it's difficult, but again, the very first aspect talked about it, it's about you and your significant other. So just make sure you keep that in your mind.
And we always preach that to our couples. At the end of the day, we are here to love and serve them and to be there for them on their wedding day to make it what they want. And so I just couldn't agree with that one anymore.
So not easy to do, but it is possible.
All right, okay. And the number one most recommended thing,
hire a professional wedding planner.
And although we have a lot to say on this, we don't need to, because the comments speak for themselves. A wedding planner. I wish my mom and I had some help and guidance, but if nothing else, the day of, have someone doing the coordinating for you. Even if you have a small wedding, hire at least a day of coordinator. Worth every penny for any size wedding. I hired a wedding planner, full planning, and it was the best decision I ever made. Get at least a day of coordinator. hire the wedding planner, or at the very least, a coordinator for the weekend so your mom can relax with you. My biggest regret. And with that said, a lot of these talk about either day of coordinators or full service wedding planning. So something to keep in consideration is a day of coordinator is really kind of the minimum that you're gonna wanna consider for your wedding day. As you lead up to your wedding, it gets really stressful. So just to highlight a few different options that you have for wedding planning, you have a day of coordinator that's there the day of, kind of just making sure that people are coming and going when they need to, making sure that your arrangements are set up, all those little pieces. You also have the option sometimes of hiring like a month of or a few months before, and that coordinator basically will step in, check your contracts, make sure that people know when delivery is going to be, when pickup's going to be, and they really help a little bit more in a hands-on process. And then the best, which on here was said to be the best move that they ever made, was hiring a full-on wedding planner, someone who's going to help with decor, give that guidance that one of those previous brides was talking about, and just making sure that, you know, everything is moving along at the pace that it needs to be. A lot of the times, full-service wedding planning is an investment. However, they can often save you money because they know what's necessary and what's not necessary, and also save you so much stress.
So guys, did you hear that? Hire a wedding planner.
Definitely
it's going to save a lot of tension and pressure on your wife.
For sure. Okay, and then this is another one that was kind of along that topic. It said if you can only splurge on a few things, splurge on the photographer, the DJ, and the coordinator / wedding planner. Those are the things I remember the most, and I'm so glad they were done well. And then this is also a past bride of ours. So she said also, one thing I read from Shauna after my wedding was having a new perfume for that day. I wish I had done that. I know smelling it would bring back all of the amazing feels and moments of that day. And that actually is one of my favorite wedding day recommendations, is to have a special perfume and cologne for each of you that you've never worn before. Make a date out of it. We made like a date day. We went out and we picked out our scents for the wedding day. And seriously, every time to this day, if Jordon wears his cologne, I'm like, what cologne are you wearing? He's like, it's the wedding one. I'm like, I know. And then same thing with me, when I wear my perfume, it just brings back all of those emotions, and it's truly one of the best recommendations
just
that I can make.
Just a small little tidbit to always kind of take your brain back.
Yeah, any way that you can bring back those feelings and emotions are always a great one. So another one said to be prepared and open to unexpected changes.
And like, I feel like this is going to happen, you know, whether it's weather down here in Florida or, you know, something like a stain on a dress or something, for example. Like, again, it says pretty perfectly, be open to unexpected changes. Just like, you know, the days you want it to be perfect, of course we all do, but just be prepared that it's not going to be 100% perfect.
And when you have a really great team of vendors, you'd be surprised how quickly things can turn around.
Yeah.
So for example, I had a bridesmaid who spilled a mimosa all the way down her dress right as we were supposed to leave to head to the venue. We were getting ready to take bridesmaid photos just before going on to the transportation. And what did I do? I was only one there as we were heading the girls out, so I grabbed a wet towel, I dabbed her, I blow dried her. You could never tell at all. So in that moment, thankfully our bride knew that I was going to take care of the situation. She didn't freak out. She went downstairs and she just relaxed and waited for us to board the bus. And another one, this is another one from a previous Cooney couple, and our bride Katie said not to be so stressed, especially because nothing even went wrong on my day of.
And again, I feel like you're gonna have the expectation because you want that perfect day, but then you're not open to unexpected changes, so then you just obviously become stressed and you start eating yourself from the inside out. So just kind of relax and enjoy every single moment.
And at the end of the day, like I said, if you have great vendors, they're gonna take care of you and you have nothing to worry about.
I was gonna go back to is like, you have a great team to do those kind of things for you.
For sure. I love this one because this isn't one of our brides, but it's something that we plan for strategically on all of our timelines that we create for our couples. And they said it took way longer to do hair and makeup for everyone, and it put us behind. This makes my heart really sad. And I couldn't do first look pictures like I wanted. I also wish I had gotten more family photos. So, couples, this is what I'm going to say to you. When you are looking for your photographer, one thing that we do for our couples that you can maybe look for in a replicable, team. One, we always create customized wedding day timelines for our couples. When we create that timeline, we create an intentional additional buffer for hair and makeup. In the past, we've had so many different experiences where hair and makeup ran an hour over, 2 hours over, on a first look wedding day, just like this one. Thankfully, we have very strategic systems. We're a husband and wife team. We can work really efficiently. So we kept all of those wedding days on track so that way we would never take away a first look from a couple. But that's one of the things that we definitely recommend is plan on having hair and makeup end at the time that your photographer arrives. That way, while they're capturing your details, there's a little bit of buffer time in case something does run over. And also, bride, maid of honor, and mom should never be the last one in the chair. That way, if hair and makeup does run over, you guys can at least move forward with the getting ready process. The other thing that I wanted to add on to this as well was that they said that they wish they had gotten more family photos. Another thing that we provide for our couples is we actually create customized family groupings for them. They give us the names of their immediate family members. We create that customized family grouping list for them. We run it past them. If they have any adjustments, we make it for them. But that way on the day of the wedding, we have a checklist that we run through. We make sure that we get individuals of the couple with all of their immediate family members, parents, grandparents, siblings. We get those groupings of, them with their family, the two of them with their families, and it's just a whole list that we have that we make sure that our couples never have that, because family is really important to us and really important to our couples.
That's what I was going to say. Long story short, we do it for you because family is a big value of ours.
Absolutely. And oh my gosh, I would just be so heartbroken if I was missing photos from family on a wedding day. So then that kind of leads us into the next topic that was brought up, and we did not pay people to say this. They said it on their own.
Well, maybe we should have paid people before we did this.
But what someone said was photography budget should not be the 10 to 15% like people suggest. Those photos last forever. The cake, food, music, etc. end that evening. And I have to admit, I do agree with that to a point. If there's wiggle room in your budget, there's definitely areas where you can pull from to make photography or videography, whatever your dream thing is, in order to make it that priority.
Yeah, I was just gonna say too is because again, when you choose that photographer, you're not really thinking long term, but hopefully you are, because what lasts longer than everything else on your wedding day? Your photos.
Yeah, so photos and video. Those are going to be the things that take you back to the day.
Unless you're like me, it could be that cologne that's still sitting up there, like basically a full bottle. That might last longer than some more photos, but I hope not.
Okay, and then another one that was mentioned on the photography timeline was pay for the good photo package. Nothing else is as important.
Boom. Okay.
I mean, I don't disagree with that. Having your photographer there for a long period of time during the day and investing in good photography is definitely what it sounds like. It is an investment. You are investing in the memories. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so the next one. If doing getting ready at a hotel, either get a room with an extra late checkout or book the second night there. Easiest would be to book the honeymoon suite for the entire weekend and use it for getting ready. Get a cheap second room nearby for the groom and groomsmen to get ready. Yes.
I'm reading this just not the entire time.
Yes. It's something that people don't consider unless they've been in a wedding or experienced it before. But you don't want to have your bridesmaids getting ready and then they have to be shuffling their stuff to different rooms because you have a checkout on that time. Oh my goodness. No, you trust me, you don't want that.
It doesn't seem like it's a small thing, or it seems like it's a small thing, like weeks and stuff like that. Like, oh, we got this figured out, but then the day of, everybody is scrambling, and it's like
if you do it that way,
it's such a little nightmare, and it causes people to run those extra 5 minutes late.
And 5 minutes is a big deal on a wedding day.
It definitely adds up too. So
what we actually recommend, and this is what we did, is what we did might be a little different, but what I always recommend to couples is get one room that you and your girls are gonna, for example, bride and bridesmaids, you and your girls are going to get ready in. You're gonna sleep there the night before, right? So let's say your wedding's on a Saturday. You get a room, you sleep in that room Friday night, you get ready there Saturday, and let's be honest, you're probably not gonna want that messy room as your honeymoon suite for after the wedding. Especially because all the girls' stuff's gonna be in there and you don't want them to be coming in and out of your honeymoon suite. So this is what I recommend. Are you ready? You have that room for Friday night to Saturday, and then one of your bridesmaids takes over that room from Saturday to Sunday.
Or multiple bridesmaids too.
Right, but you just have that room taken over by someone else because they're gonna most likely want a room for that night after the wedding.
Yep.
And then the only stuff that needs to be transferred is your stuff from that room to the honeymoon suite. And what we did is Jordon and his groomsmen actually got ready in the honeymoon suite, because let's be honest, the guys didn't get ready in that room. They got ready and then showed up at that room for photos.
Yep.
So that's what we did, and it worked really well for us.
Yeah, on to the next one, which is favors are highly overrated.
And okay, here's the thing. favors can be a really, really cool way to add personalization and an intimate touch into your wedding day.
Yeah, you see some good ones.
Love wedding favors. However, there's also really cool ways to do favors if you want to do it on a smaller budget. So for example, if you want to invest in photography and you can cut back your like the amount of money that you're spending on favors to give that to another area on your wedding day, we highly recommend that because we have the coolest idea, we think it's the coolest, for wedding favors that aren't traditional. Let me just say this, if you're gonna do tiny M&Ms or like a small little candy favor as a place setting that doesn't mean anything to you as a couple and it is not creating an experience for your guests, just don't do it. Like, that is my honest opinion. If you're gonna do something just for the sake of doing a favor, just don't do it. And here's what you can do instead. Jordon and I on our wedding day had our menus at each place setting. And at the bottom of that menu, we put a note that said, in lieu of a traditional wedding favor, we have made a donation in your honor to such and such charity.
Which was, we did some research on the charity and we found out something that we both
a charity that we love that had to do with like education and basketball for underprivileged children. And so that was something that we did. We could do maybe a smaller budget toward our wedding favors so we could invest in other areas because we didn't have anything super cool that we wanted to do for a favor at the time. If we got remarried, it might be a little different now.
I know exactly where you're going.
But that's just a nice way where if you don't have a large favor budget, either just don't do the favors or make a donation to a charity. And I think that's such a cool way to still do something personal for your day, give back to the community, and maybe cut back what that budget would be on, I don't know, M&Ms and bags that, let's be honest, people probably aren't even gonna necessarily use it, so. All right, so with that said, I love this section, which is all about first looks. And the first look, according to this commenter, said means so much more than pictures and a personal moment for just you and your groom. The traditional wait until the aisle means hurried photos and spending the entire day from ceremony on greeting others and not enjoying your time with each other as a married couple.
Yep, and they basically hit on one of the key bonuses to a first look. Not only is basically spending the whole day with your significant other, but it takes so much pressure off of you at the reception and greeting everybody because you're able to do that during cocktail hour. Which
honestly is the same thing as the next one. It says take time just for the two of you away from everyone. We took 15 minutes to ourselves to soak it all in and discuss how gorgeous everything turned out. We said our thank yous at cocktail hour so we could eat and sit. So one of the reasons we love first looks is because it does allow you two to spend the entire day together as a couple. It gives you bonus emotions because you get to have basically two emotional reveal moments, the first look and then the moment that you're marrying your best friend. And then additionally, you get to go to cocktail hour, and then you also get to greet all of your guests at cocktail hour, so you don't have to do that during the reception.
Another fun bonus with that is, with us, we do family photos before the ceremony too with the first look, so you get to see your family right at the beginning too, so that's just nice as well.
So this person said hire a planner or day of, invest in more florals, and do a first look. We didn't, and we wish we did. So.
Yep, it speaks for itself.
This person said, have someone video how your bustle needs to be done. My dress had numbers for loops, but we couldn't find half of the strings, and bring safety pins if all else fails. Okay.
I don't know what this means.
I cannot tell you how many bustles I have seen broken on a wedding day. Probably 50%.
Wow, 50?
Yeah. Some sort of bustle, one of the hooks, oh my gosh.
Didn't you offer to do or we should bring a crochet hook with us, right? Is that something that they should bring too?
That's for the buttons and getting ready.
Okay.
But no, so when you're doing your bustle, I totally agree that having it on video is super helpful. I'm like a low-key bustle connoisseur, so there have been many weddings where I am under the dress, bustling that dress up for our bride. But I cannot agree anymore that having safety pins is absolutely crucial, and not little safety pins. Girl, go get those industrial, heavy-duty safety pins, because trust me, the little ones even the large ones, they don't give you enough room to grasp the material. And let me tell you, if my brides had a big, thick safety pin, I could go from underneath the dress, rebustle it for her, and you would never know that her bustle broke.
When you say big safety pin, all I picture is the big safety pins from cartoon baby diapers.
That's what I want. That's what I want. Yeah, that's what I want.
I'm sure they
The bigger the better. No, but that way I could loop underneath. Same thing if you have a planner day of, they would be able to handle that as well. But it's much it would just make it allows for you to enjoy your reception a whole lot more if you're not constantly grabbing and picking your dress up.
So when they say this too, should you record it and and when you're at the bridal shop testing it? 'Cause like
Yeah,
those
that's
people
what they
I've
mean.
seen,
That's what they mean.
do the video, okay.
Yeah, record your seamstress as she's showing you how
Like
to do
when
it.
you're doing your final fitting, is
Yeah.
that what it's called? Okay.
This one I kind of love, but this person said to elope, then have the wedding afterwards. You get the best of both worlds. So the wedding planning is usually more relaxed and enjoyable. You still get to celebrate with your family and friends and get amazing photos, but in a different way. Everything is so much smoother and just fun, no stress. We're glad that we did. So if I was to do this,
because I think I'm looking too in depth.
so if I was to do this, I would like elope, for example, in France. And then I would have a mini elopement in France and then a larger event back in town.
But like when you say large event, is it still like a normal traditional wedding?
Mhm.
It's just the fact that we're already legally married.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of people who do that. They'll do like a destination wedding with small family and friends, and then they'll have the
Gotcha.
after, yeah.
Okay. All right. I misread that. Okay. Cool.
So this person said videography is worth it. Not investing in it was our biggest regret.
Dang, too. So like, I mean, we got video too, and I love watching it just because like you get to see everybody's like actual like physical reactions and some of the sounds and stuff that just obviously bring you back that photos can't do. So video is very fun. Just
if you can afford to invest in video as well, I definitely think that you're never gonna regret having video. You will regret not having video.
If you think photos from your dance floor are blackmail enough, no, video on the dance floor is more blackmail.
And on that note, this person, who is actually a former bride of ours, said hire video and photo for longer. Make sure they're there to capture all the silliness on the dance floor.
Ooh.
And we really agree with
Guilty.
that. So with that said, like for us, a traditional 8-hour wedding day will get you through cake cutting, toasts, and a lot of open dancing. But if you want us to be there longer, if you want like the full day of coverage, that is a package upgrade that we offer. So I honestly love when our brides do that, because it means that not a moment's really missed from the wedding day.
And I was going to say too, is like with the first look, so going back a little bit too, with the first look, you've already got the mingling, you're able to get more dancing with your significant other too, because if you don't do that first look, then you're still greeting those guests and you're not on the dance floor getting those photos that obviously this bride probably wanted.
And as a photographer, I'm going to throw in my own tip here, which is to make sure you dance with your significant other during the reception. Please dance together. Like, how sad will it be if you look back at your photos from your wedding day and there's no photos of you guys dancing together because you were too busy mingling with other people? Like, remember the days about you. Like, don't forget to dance together.
Yeah, for sure.
I know this sounds silly, but y'all, we are shameless.
Even if you're not a dancer.
We will go up to our couple on the wedding day if they're like, they're just like talking to their families, trying to be good guests. I will go up to our couple and be like, hey, next song, I want you to come on the dance floor and dance together, because you're gonna want those memories. And it's not just about the photos; it's the memories that you want.
Speaking of that, I can't remember. I think I got told this the day at a reception. It's like this couple took dancing lessons, but it was only a couple weeks prior. They wish they would have done a couple months prior, because a couple weeks with dance lessons wasn't enough time.
Right.
So if you're not a good dancer, months in advance.
Yeah, there you go. And then this is our last one, which is kind of a fun one to end on, and it says, get a second dress. I ended up changing into shorts and a tank top for the last half hour of the reception because I wanted to dance. I wish I would have brought a short, flowy, like fun dress to change into. And actually, they said the last half of the reception, not last half hour, like half of the reception. They were in shorts and a tank top.
Dang.
But you know what? Your girl can relate.
I know you can.
On our wedding day, I also got really, really hot. We had an outdoor wedding in February in Florida, which should have been cold, but it was hot and wasn't expecting that. And so it was really, really warm. And so I actually also had to change. Thankfully, I had a really, really, really beautiful rehearsal dinner dress that I'd worn the day before. So all I did was just switch from my wedding gown into my our rehearsal dinner dress, and half the people weren't even at a rehearsal dinner, so they didn't know that it was just my dress from the night before. But I totally agree with that. Even if you're not sure if you'll use it, just buy a dress for the reception and keep the tags on it. And then it's better to need it, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
I was gonna say for guys out there, like you need 2 dresses. Okay, guys, like I understand what you're thinking too. Like those dresses can add up quick, but at the same time, that's like you keeping your suit jacket on the entire day, morning. Like you wake up and you go to bed. Like
And honestly,
imagine keeping that on the entire time. It's like almost ×3.
Yeah, I was gonna say those dresses are thick and heavy, so.
Yeah. You don't blame the girl when she just needs a little breeze, right?
Yeah. So with that said, those are the tips and tricks that were given to us by former couples, and we hope that they can be helpful for you as you plan your wedding. If you have any additional tips that you would like to add on, feel free to go ahead and comment it below
Always
this
curious.
video.
Yes, please.
We can share that way other people who watch this video can read through, and per usual, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this video so that way we can make sure that you get to see future videos from us.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
All right, guys. Bye.